What is up, game changers? My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, and what they call a Divine Guide. Who I am is very layered. And when I talk about who I am, it does not diminish anybody else. It's about what I have done and what I have brought about. Okay. I am, in fact, the one who brought about the return of Christ. So the ascension essentially is the return of Christ. And when I tell you I brought it about, I don't just tell you this. It's being proven every day all over my channel if you are watching, if you are awake enough and able to see what I have done. It started with a Kundalini awakening in 2019 I didn't expect or count on. Then I started doing things to healing people that I've never done before. They just started happening to me and through me, and whatever I needed to do would show up at my door. Then from there, I would always follow Spirit's nudges. I started doing workshops, and that's when everything started coming through. And I do mean everything. This painting right here, somebody else did before I even did all the work. I actually sat on Saturn with Hermes and I rose Atlantis first. And I undid the contract there that said Atlantis would never rise again. Then I cleared out Mount Shasta, which was hundreds and hundreds of bodies in Mount Shasta that were trapped there. It was never filled with light at all. Then I cleansed the root chakra and replaced it back to Fiji, where it was always supposed to be. I activated a pyramid in Fiji. And then eventually there I opened up the God portal and then eventually completely cut off Mount Shasta from life support, all of California. Burned Archangel Samael there. That happened during my workshops, and they are available on my channel for you guys to watch, and I'll show you that in a second. Then from there, I started activating pyramids all over the globe, from Indonesia, Myanmar, Machu Picchu, Brazil, Budapest, Thailand, Congo, Kenya, British Columbia, Dominican Republic, and so much more. Republic of the Dominican, all of those different places that I went to. And this took me 4 years to do. I undid all darkness back to the beginning of time. I cleared out darkness from Adam and Eve, united those twin flames, which was my lifetime. Then I went into Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene after I freed his soul. That was also a part of my journey. It came where I freed his soul first and processed his death. And then his soul went into the Garden of Eden because my twin flame was not ready yet to take on that lifetime. My first twin flame did die during this process because we were both attacked by fallen angels. It was very painful. It physically changed my body. And it took everything I had to survive. I actually survived my twin flame. And so I got a walk-in twin soul. Okay. I'm going to show you really quickly where you can see all of this because I really did do these things. The problem is people want to judge it. People want to sit here and throw things at me like, oh, you didn't do this. The collective did. No, you didn't. I know who I am. I know what I've done. It is up to you now to be able to see it. We're going to talk about this moon energy, what we're going through right now, the significance of it, what you need to know. I did get some crystals that might help as well. So I'm just going to write those down before I forget them. Okay. So I do have some crystals that will help you through this full moon as well. The significance of this full moon and how it actually relates to the work that I've done. So I have some very important things to show you today. Very important things. Okay. First, however, I am going to show you where you can find everything that I'm talking about. So my computer's running a little bit slow. Like, why is that like that? I don't know. Let's just share this really quick. So you do see I have headphones on today. You'll have to forgive that. My heat went out yesterday, night before, and it's been very cold here. And then I still have all my chitlins here, and so it's quite noisy in my background. And so that is why I'm wearing this big old large headset today, so that you can hear me, hopefully, and only me. All right, so this is my channel, my main channel. I have a few of them. But what I'm going to show you right now is where you can find everything that I'm talking about. On Christmas Day last year is when I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene and I undid the false Holy Grail. The false Holy Grail was not a cup. They used that cup to do something, and then it was something else. Okay, so I encourage you guys to watch these things. But I do have an Ascension playlist so that it's easier for you guys to find the videos that I'm referring to. This one happened back in 2020, I do believe, where I freed his soul. I saw how Jesus died. I processed his death. It was very painful. He did not die on a cross. What happened to the cross is also explained on my channel. The cross was never the cross they depict. It was always the Ankh. Okay. And it was broken because they would separate your God, masculine and feminine. And that's what happened. This one actually shows the very first workshop I did, which was spell casting. In that, it was mentioned that you are witnessing God, right? This is the work of God. I talked about our final timeline. We only have less than 2 years left now because everything I did has been complete. What I did was change the earth completely. Told you activated pyramids. I rebuilt the crystalline grid. This was Mount Shasta part 2. They come in 2s and 3s. This one you can watch me burn Archangel Samael. California was completely cut off from the earth. And I tell you where the water and change of tides comes in. And this one I cleared the Nile. Okay. This is also where they tell me who I was. And Sekhmet was one of my lifetimes. Adam and Eve and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Those are my lifetimes. This is what I've been clearing and undoing all darkness through, closing off all 12 gates of darkness and open up the 13th. There's 13 gates, which is the one to heaven. That is the new earth. I hold the keys. That's not a joke. I actually have the path home. If you take the path to righteousness, which is everything that I've done, it's not just what's listed here. In the path to righteousness, it gets you to the new gates. The only thing is you're still tested. You have to choose what's right from love, right? You always have to choose love no matter what tests are coming up because the ascension is the return of Christ. And in the return of Christ, all of our past lives no longer matter. Everything is measured in real time and you are tested. All Revelations 21:12 depicts this. It talks of this. And here's where I did Kilimanjaro. I also demolished the White House. I undid more darkness and more tunnels and more fallen angels. This is where I activated pyramids in Ecuador. I did that too. And they told me I was Sekhmet here before the Nile even came through me. These were pyramid activations in Nigeria, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, done on 11/22 of 22. I am the Eye of Ra, and my DM is the Eye of Horus. Now, the mishap that happened to my DM and I is why some people fell into judgment and stopped listening. It is a detriment in the collective soul. Okay, so everything I did, I'm the one who brought about the return of Christ. That's not a joke. Workshop, live resurrection of Christ, uniting twin flames, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and undoing the unholy grail. Those were my lifetimes. Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus are all the same soul. Those were just different lifetimes. Twin souls are the same soul split in two. And there's a masculine concept of it and a feminine aspect of it. Concept, aspect, whatever. This was when my original DM died and the battle for his soul was on. Like it was on. As soon as we united, he took off with a fallen angel and almost stopped the whole entire ascension. Okay. So you can find this all on my channel. I undid the collective shadow and individual shadow, which is part of the path to righteousness. Your DNA activations, you have to get through every gate. Okay. You have to. That is what's happening to the world around you, is the work that I did. This is where I started taking us into 7D, activating dormant chakra system, 7D. And then part 2 of that, they tell you I anchored us into the Pleiades galaxy system. Okay, that's right here, part 2, Pleiades galaxy. Now, recently on this channel, I did something else. Okay, and I showed it to you guys. Actually, I did this one live as well. So recently I did something else with the sun and the moon and the Pleiades galaxy. I combined the galaxies. Okay. And that brings us into what's going on with the energies right now, because I've been telling you on my channel that I'm prepping you for the final event. Okay. I have been prepping you for the final event. I keep saying that. It comes through my twin flame and I've been prepping you for the final event. And I've been saying this for a couple weeks now on my channel, repeatedly. If you watch my videos at all, okay, I have been saying this final removal of time. I've been showing you those. I've been doing a 21 days healing. And then each day we're doing something else, prepping for the final event. It's God's Earth now. Time is up. Prophecy fulfilled. And this one, 11 days ago, I posted it. It happened on the 10th of November. I fulfilled Revelations 21:13. Okay, I took Christ's light. I moved the Earth's compass. This is what I do. I've created 5 new poles. I've shifted all the other poles. That's who I am. This is what I've done. I changed the earth. Okay. Nobody else could do that on this planet. Nobody. But the problem is you have to watch these videos, and a lot of people still don't, unfortunately. And time is running out. If you aren't willing to see God, you won't make it. Okay. If you aren't willing to set aside judgments and see that there's more than meets the eye right now, you're not going to make it. Okay. And then I also tell you that De La Roca sees these things too. Other people see the things that I do after I do them. And recently he posted a video that it was the event. This was the event playing out. And I keep telling you guys that I am ringing in the ears. It's starting. Starting now, the event. Okay. And he just posted this 2 hours ago. And I tell you guys continually, I don't want to watch this video. You can absolutely watch it. I haven't watched it. But I keep telling you guys repeatedly that people see what I do after I do it. It's starting now, the event, ringing in the ears. That's a symptom that you're going to have. And I just told you that I've been telling you for days on my channel that I have been prepping for the final event, everything that I've been doing. 21:13 revelations fulfilled. I just did this on 11:10. What I did on the 11:11 portal. Okay, that was this one. Earth's death and taking her into heaven. I processed her death and I rebirthed her into the new earth. So everything I have done is for the earth. Okay, completely. Now, we're going to talk now about this full moon and what's going on. Oh, whoops. There is one more thing I wanted to show you. Part of what I did recently is I told you, if you watch the live on my channel, I did something to her in preparation of the event. And these were necessary sun activations. Now, this is where somebody commented saying, you didn't do this. The collective whole did this. And no, it didn't. I am the one who changed the earth. I am the one who brought back God. I healed Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. Okay, so it's totally different. It's not what you're thinking. So I would just say, drop judgments and watch the videos. Okay. So I do have people here, so you have to forgive if you can hear that. You have to understand I got to work, but my heater did go out. So for this full moon that's coming up right now, I wanted to show you is that it did align with Pleiades, the Pleiades star system last night. The moon will meet up with the Seven Sisters on Sunday the 26th during a close approach to this fascinating open star cluster, also known as the Pleiades. Now that goes with what I did here, but also, okay, it goes with this one, but it also goes with, I'll show you. So it's been happening. It's not like that's the first time that's ever happened. But it also goes with these other two that I'll show you. You have to watch these. These are not normal. This was part 1. And this one's part 2. Okay. So it goes with those. So now, and you can find those, you can watch them. I encourage you to do so because again, if you don't know what's happening, you can't see, you're in trouble, right? So you might hear my dog barking and all that. That's why I have these big headphones on. We're going to get through it. So I did ask about what's going on with this moon. These are what you need to know with it. Okay. I have the 5 things that you really need to know for this moon. You need to, number 1, expect sudden changes. That's what Spirit says. Expect sudden changes. You are on God's timeline, not that of your own. When heart is purely aligned, the one can see clearly what is happening. Okay, when your heart is purely aligned, then you can see clearly what is happening. I have distractions. I'm trying to keep it down because it's my personal work, but I did channel this, so I am reading. as I've talked about this, what I've done is opening up those gates, right? All 13, and you are tested. You have to be healed here in order to make it through clearly. Okay. No matter what is, it's the end. Okay. So when your heart is purely aligned, then one can see clearly what is happening. So there is some energy right now is that you don't understand what is fully happening. Okay, your job is to not understand necessarily all the way right away, and the need to do that is blocking you from seeing clearly. Okay, when the proof has been right here the whole time, it's just up to you to watch it, right? It's up to you to be able to see what is happening, to be open here. Um, it is a day of reckoning, right? Redemption day in full swing. And this is really cool. These energies are very powerful and palpable. It is definitely time to know who you are, right? Who are you? Not the baby that was born, not the you that is the age that you are today, the one that never changes, the one that was brought forth from um, all this weird stuff we don't really fully have the answers to, right? If you can hear and hear, you know the truth. Okay, so that's what they're talking about, not the 33-year-old or the however old you are. Like, who are you? Okay, this is going to rise more and more through these energies. This energy right now is going to really heighten that for everybody. So it's time to know this. If you don't know this by now, these things could be quite jarring. Okay. Time to watch the pendulum swing. Okay. So this is bringing in a new day. It's a dawn of a new day, new energies, new rebirth. And it's time for the pendulum to swing the other way, right? Justice being served. Karmic justice is about karma. And that is what I've done because they call it what they call it Judgment Day, but God doesn't judge. That's silliness. It's all about you reap what you sow. Okay, so karma is something to be to understand more and more as you go. I also heard somebody say the other day is that if your vibration's high enough, you can bypass your karma. That's not true. Not in the end. What you can do is be able to see it clearly, but you still have to choose out of it. Okay, it's not anything ever. Nobody's smarter than God. But I get a kick out of seeing people think they are. Okay, so number one, these are the things that this energy is all about, right? The five main things to know right now. Resistance is futile. You are not in control, right? You are not in control necessarily. um, unless you have gone through the new gates on the new earth. That is the only time you're fully in control. Otherwise, you're on God's timeline and it will either make you or break you. Okay. So we need to let go of ego and understanding of what control is. But it is time now to renew your faith. You can't control or bypass energies. You can only ride them, right? So it's like ride the wave. Like I just said, somebody had said, "Oh, if my vibration's high enough, we can bypass karma." No, what you can do is see clearly. That's what I talked about. But you still have to make the right choices. You have to understand Revelations 21:12, 21:13, all of these things that I have done. There's a full energy here of lack of understanding. Okay. So you must surrender. You must surrender to these changing tides because you can't control them. You can only ride them. You can only be able to feel them to know what to do to make the right decisions as you go along. And what you see and experience depends upon what you are open to. Okay. So what your experience is going to be completely different from the next person's. Okay. There's only a few people who actually do see the work that I do after I do it. De La Roca is one of them. Alwyn is another one, and I've pointed them out on my channel. They actually totally get downloads of the work that I did after I did it. You can watch this unfold on my channel, right? But your experience, what you can see, what you think, solely depends on your relation to the one, all right? Where you are at on your path, your relationship to the one, your karma, your karmic lessons, your karmic ties, because all of everything is measured into this one lifetime because it's the Great Reset, right? So you are being tested through every decision you make right now. Everything you say when something happens, like my heater going out and not able to work yesterday so much, and do the things that I needed to do, I didn't let it get me. I remember I actually got that message is like, be careful how you react. So if things are happening and it's causing frustration in you, that is one of the tests, right? Like the wrath. So no matter what is happening, no matter what you do right now, you have to understand is that you are being tested. If you come to my channel and you throw shade my way and you don't even watch all the videos, because I can tell you didn't, because if you would just simply watch my videos, you probably wouldn't be throwing so much shade my way. But the problem is people already in judgment and they can't see clearly, so they don't even click the link to play it, right? And you're being tested. If you think for 1 second that's not being recorded because you don't understand who I am. I'm not you. I'm not a starseed. I'm not a light worker. I am the one, in fact, who brought it about. I'm not a chosen one. I am the one. And they tell you this repeatedly. They told me this. It was my downloads, my understanding as I went along in my own awakening. Okay. So when you watch the Nile one, they tell you who I am. They actually called me the Queen of Life. Okay, I am the one. I called back my power from Sekhmet time when I did the Nile. And I opened up the 13th gate and I replaced the dark crystal in the core of the earth. Okay. So there are no coincidences right now. That's something else you guys need to understand. Coincidences don't exist. Everything, there's too many energies at play to have coincidences. Okay. You create your reality through the choices you make. You are being tested because God doesn't judge. Only the shadow does, only darkness does. In the path to righteousness, I heal all of that. It's a rebirth. You are reborn into the new earth, or you will be reborn somewhere else. So you must relinquish that control. These energies, this is the event. This is preparation for the event. I've been saying this repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly with the work that I'm doing. And it's unfortunate that nobody's taking it seriously. Okay. Says it's a dawn of a new day. All right. And so you need to let your fears dissolve. I have more messages of what you guys need to do for this moon. This is all about the energies right now. You need to let your fears dissolve. Can you sit through your toughest challenges, your toughest fears, your toughest heartaches, your toughest pain, and just sit through it and allow it to dissipate? Can you breathe through it? Can you release it? Are you strong enough? Okay. It's an illusion when we let those kinds of things take over. We start to see through that lens, and that will definitely block you. Okay, it creates that lens, and then anything anybody says, you're seeing through that lens. So some people I could tell them, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. And others are going to celebrate that, going, yay, no more suffering, right? And then you say it to others and they're like, oh my God, it's so scary. It depends on what lens you are seeing through. Okay. You need to talk less and feel more. Can you feel? Are you healed enough to feel? Or are you too afraid to feel your emotions? Okay, these are the things that will help you through this moon is letting your fears dissolve because it's going to spark some. These energies are quite tough. They're massive. Okay, this is pure Christ. It's time to this is a day of reckoning also. It's a reckoning wave. So the past is dying. It is truly time to let it go. Everything. Everything is dying off. It is time to let it go. Okay, but also within that, within letting the fears dissolve, talking less and feeling more, and understanding that things have to be let go, shine your light brightly because if you don't, others cannot know where to do or where to go. Things are not done through our words, right? In the new higher frequencies and things, they are done energetically. So, like in a relationship, most of your contact and understanding of each other is going to be 70% energy. That's why, like with twin flames, they only unite in the energy first. They have to inward unite first because it's like 70% energy and then the rest is through the other forms of communication. Okay. And so it's not like you can just go and tell somebody, hey, this is what's happening. You have to do this. They will judge you. You know, it will spark fear and things. But if you're healing and you're rising and you're focusing through a different lens of love, then others can do the same. Okay. So strange happenings are never so strange after all. It just depends on your level of understanding, right? Like when I say who I am and somebody's like, no, you didn't do that. Like you didn't watch my videos, okay? It's only through your level of understanding what you can see. So I don't need to sit here and explain myself to you, right? I will still do me. And so you're also going to see things change that you didn't expect. Expect sudden changes, okay? These are massive. All right. So a potential accomplished and created. This is one of the things so I did ask Spirit what they wanted me to talk about. And these are the things that they want me to talk about. Potential. I don't like it when people would say that to me. Oh, you have potential. I see potential in you. And I'd be like, bitch, potential schmenschel. Like, that's an insult. It means that if you do this, you'll be good enough. But only if you do this will you be good enough. I see you could do good if you did this, if you did that. That's judgment. Okay. So, um, potential accomplished and created does not exist. Do not Don't limit unjust. Just simply celebrate where you're at now. Okay. Once you celebrate instead, once you look at what you've already accomplished and you celebrate that, it gives you more drive to keep going because we all should be on an improving journey. So this potential is like a judgment. Well, if you do this, you'll be good enough. If you do this, then you'll be good enough. No, I'm good enough now. I need the motivation to keep going, right? Right? Like, love me for who I am now, and then I will keep a going. Um, so releasing happens in layers, okay? So, I hear people talk about how they're doing it on their own. You don't understand these energies and what's happening and what I have done and how massive they truly are and how much healing you have to do in order to be reborn into the new reality. So understand that one piece happens today, another piece happens tomorrow, and another piece and another piece, and it's all layers. Now that's the same thing with the return or the what you would call the ascension. Is that they can only bring through in layers. Otherwise, it would cause everybody to lose their ever loving mind. Okay. And so as these come, there will be more fears rising. There will be more intensities. There will be more symptoms. Because as we're releasing in layers, also this comes about in layers. Okay. So every full moon, every portal, everything is meaningful. So that's what they talk about riding the waves. You can't bypass, you can't control, you're not in charge. God is, right? The one. So let go of that. That's ego. Ego is the one who says you are outside of everything else. Ego is the one who says that, you know, it's the what takes you away from yourself, from love, from the reality of everything. You must realize is that you are your reality. You created it. Okay. There is no disconnect between you and that. So everything is actually through you. Nothing can happen unless it's through you, like miracles. Everybody wants a miracle, things they want things handed to them, but unless they're open to receive them, it's the same with abundance, right? Like if I'm not creating, if I'm not in balance, if I'm not doing what I should do, nothing can come through in that wave. Okay. If I sit here and focus on the wrong things, I'm blocking the right things from coming through. So everything truly is through you. Everything only exists through you. I remember something bad happened to me when I was a kid, and my grandma told me, "Well, that was your fault." I'm like, "Wait, how is getting raped my fault?" Right? But then I was like, "Wait, I allowed myself to be there. I allowed myself to be vulnerable." And so it wasn't necessarily my fault, but we all play some role into what happens to us. Okay, so could she have said it a little nicely? Yeah, but it is true. Nothing can happen to you unless you allow it through. Okay. So that's why it's truly about being in your power, being in balance, um, and riding the waves rather than trying to control them. Understanding what they're trying to tell you to do, being able to hear what they're trying to tell you to do. It is time to regain that faith, renew my faith. What is faith? What is hope again? Start taking further levels of understanding in that because of all that negative false connotation on religion, which is all false, right? And God, which is not false, but there was a lot of negativities put in there. So it's truly about not thinking so much, feeling more. That helps you. Being strong enough to dissolve those fears that arise. Okay. I have some crystals here that will also help you through this moon. Calcite, any kind of calcite, lapis lazuli, and mookaite. Those came through to help you right now. These energies will last for about 7 days. So really important stuff, okay? It is a day of reckoning, it is a redemption day in full swing. And you are not, I don't care who you think you are or how high your ego is. When I heard somebody say that if my vibration is high enough, I can bypass my karma. No, okay? What that means is you could see it clearly, but you can't step outside of God, okay? He's smarter than you. He's everything. So to think that you're in control only to a certain degree, right? Like you cannot, to be able to see clearly what allows you to make the right decisions. And I can tell you right now that unless you've healed enough, there's still something you're missing. And just alone that the fact that that person is sharing the certain things that they are lets me know that they still have healing to do as well. So if you think for a second that you're extinct or excluded or you understand fully what's going on, this is not the case. Okay. Because these energies, these frequencies are way beyond your understanding. So I would encourage you to slow down, talk less, and feel more. Slow down in the energies and understand that these are very strange happenings. These are not normal. And so you can't look at them in a normal lens. Okay. It's time to understand who you really are and to let the past go because everything is dying. And either you are dying with it or you are healing out of it. Okay. But if you think again that you can do it all on your own, that's dangerous because do you even understand what's happening? Very strange happenings. Okay. These are very high frequency movements. And I would encourage you to pay attention to what I'm doing because it is not normal and it does help determine because we are being tested through everything. Okay. So knowledge is power. That's why it's given. It's not like God goes, oh, day of reckoning, you're judged. Everybody's going to die. No, He actually comes in. I created all these changes and I give you the opportunity to change with it. The rest is up to you. Okay. So, very big, intense energies right now. Can you handle them? Do they come with physical things? Yes, they do. So pay attention to your body. Or are you too medicated? Can you not hear it? Right? Feeling, releasing those emotions, all necessary. And if you're afraid to shine your light, you're hurting others around you. So, like I told you, as more people were supposed to do the path home. Instead, they're judging it, they're thinking they don't need it, and they're not helping those around them either. We all affect each other, right? Ego says we don't, but in reality, we do. All right. So much love, you guys. Enjoy this energy, use it wisely. You have all the tools you need if you're listening to what I say, including the path home, which will not last forever. So I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving and are ready and going for what's coming. These are big. Today I'm doing a full moon healing for Patreon. I don't know what's going to come in that. And we're doing, I think, day 19 of 21. And so this is the preparation for the event that I've been bringing through this whole entire time. Okay. If you want to understand what it means to bring back the return of Christ, watch my videos. All right. So much love to all of you. Have a very beautiful day. I will see you later.